We're in Modena, but not where you think. We're actually taking in the new home of Ares, a modern-day automotive atelier primarily set up to appeal to the super-rich who demand more than simple leather and wood upgrades and actually want to create something truly bespoke. This production line is where dreams happen. If you want your Bentley Mulsanne to have 2 fewer doors, Ares will do it. If you want your G-Wagon to be completely pimped out, Ares will do it. And if you want your Lamborghini Huracan to morph into a Tomaso Pantera, then, well, now you're talking. This is Project Panther, the first example of Ares Design's bespoke creations service. Based on a Lamborghini Huracan, it uses the donor car's footprint and 5.2-litre V10, but reclothes the exterior in fresh carbon fibre, reimagines the interior as somewhere less shouty, and upgrades performance to 648 brake horsepower. Project Panther is the vision of one car-mad customer who also happens to own an original Tomaso Pantera that's just here for inspiration. This is still a prototype, which explains why all the glazing is made from perspex, but the entire process is exactly the same as what you would get if you were just down the road at Ferrari's Special Projects division. The donor car needs to be scanned, ideas need to be sketched, models need to be 3D printed, and jigs need to be created for all these brand new panels. But whereas a custom creation from Ferrari would cost you in excess of €3 million and probably stifle a little bit of that creative input, you can have a custom build like this from Ares for around €715,000, which in relative terms is a bit of a bargain. The trick is to avoid touching what's known as the hard points, things like the mechanical structure, the electrical architecture, the suspension. If you don't mess around with those things too much, the cars don't need to be rehomologated or crash tested, which saves a lot of time, cost and complexity.
We're a classic coach builder, just maybe a modern era coach builder where you come to us and you have your idea in mind of a car that you have maybe dreamt of or designed or something, and you want this car to become reality. The car manufacturers, they are setting up bespoke operations, but they are actually limited. Their limits come very early. So, yeah, you might have maybe 4,000 cows to choose from, but at the end it's a leather and it's a color, right? And the stitching might be this or that, but at the end it's a stitching, and the wood can be, I don't know, from Ireland or from Scotland or from somewhere, but at the end it's the wood. If we do something, we want to do something that nobody has ever done.
Now, to Ares' credit, every modification has gone through type approval and is aerodynamically tested, which isn't always a given in the aftermarket's business. And Project Panther has also gone through what's known as computational fluid dynamics, which measures the airflow over the car. And that's contributed to inform the design of the rear spoiler and the diffuser to ensure that the aero balance and the downforce created is similar to that of the donor car. Project Panther is expected to be completed by the end of 2018, and it could become the cornerstone for a whole new coach building empire. But there's a twist. Although originally intended as a one-off, the feedback for this car has been so positive that Ares is now contemplating to put a series into limited run production. Whether it goes ahead is ultimately going to depend on the original commissioner. Either he or she can say yes and take a little royalty check every time one of these cars rolls off the line, or they can say no, withhold the creative IP, and Ares moves on to the next project. Who knows what they're going to do? Please let us know what you do in the comments box below.